The farms need a working and the stable need a mucking. During the day I'd work on the master's farm growing potatoes and raising livestock. His family came from England and has been putting the peasants to work ever since. At night I go to the pub and dance to folk music. One day while harvesting the potatoes, I noticed a sickly substance growing. I cut up some potatoes and found that the entire crop had spoiled. I lost all my money from the harvest and was evicted from my home. To Dublin I was brought by the £2 I had saved, with my wife and my wee lads. I had heard of country folk like me going to the United States for a new life. To the United States had everything: jobs, opportunity, and food for everyone. There were many who went before me on the ships, and I was to do the same. I boarded the cargo vessel and herded to the loader decks, with only sparse food and clothing. There were at least 50 countrymen packed into the space of a pig's pen. Call it a ship, but to my lads and I, it was a coffin ship. 2 out of 5 countrymen died in the passage. Among them was my wee lad Pippin. The food was sparse and the light non-existent, but we sailed on. Arrival in the United States, what a sight. Huge buildings and crowded streets. Though many of my folk were only able to go to Canada, I was lucky enough to afford passage to the country of light. On our ship there were Irish and Germans alike, all looking for a new life. Through a brief preface and some basic questions we were off. Tut tut, I thought to myself, am I finally here? I climbed onto the continent and breathed the American air. Dirty eyes and judgment were all the welcome I got. Fortunately, my family and I stayed in a house next to my cousin, which we got back in Ireland. I immediately started walking towards the nearest factory in search of work. As I walked down the busy street, there were many glaring eyes. I was wearing a drab coat with a top hat, like the garb common to Ireland. There were many signs saying Irish need not apply, so I moved down the street. After many days of searching for work, I found a job at the Mackin cotton factory. It paid more than my work back in Ireland, and I got a steady income. Though the conditions were not perfect, and I had to work 14 hours a day, my lads and lasses were happier than ever before. Many of my folk were building roads and bridges and serving rich Americans. I was lucky enough to be working in a factory. There was a pub on my street and plenty to drink and people to talk to. Many American-born citizens despised us for who we were, but us folk are hardy, and we are sticking together. Now I am old, I am withered. I have my grandchildren surrounding me. Many of my folk have moved here, but there are less coming now. I am glad that I have immigrated to this great country, and we have made the Irish Americans.